will be held today for NYPD Transit Officer Ariana Reyes-Gomez, who was fatally stabbed inside her home in the Bronx early Monday morning. It appears Officer Gomez was a victim of domestic violence.
So many women and people suffer in silence because they don't know or feel like they have anywhere to go. Checking on your strong friends. See how they're doing. Make sure they're okay.
Now, Ariana's estranged husband did turn himself into police and is now facing murder and manslaughter charges. The victim's advocates say this case is a tragic reminder of how widespread the domestic violence problem is in New York. So joining us this morning is Stephanie McGraw, a survivor of domestic violence and also the founder of WARM, which stands for We All Really Matter. So good morning, Stephanie. We appreciate you being with us.
Good morning. How are you?
We're good. We're good. Thank you again. Let's start from the beginning. Are you familiar at all with the history of domestic violence involving Officer Gomez? Did her family and friends, did they share any information with you?
I am very familiar. I am a woman that lived this experience. I am a survivor of domestic violence. I grew up in domestic violence in my community and my household, and it is something that we are still ashamed about. So our job is to expose domestic violence for what it is, a crime, not a shame.
Did she have a history, though, in her family, in her relationship with her estranged husband?
Yeah, you know, the history was there, but it's such a silent, it is a silent killer. And the history was it's okay, it's not that bad, you know, he's gonna get better. You know, not recognizing the signs of domestic violence is very dangerous. So the history was there for quite some time.
Yeah, and we talk about the history. You know, the 34-year-old suspect turned himself in. He has no criminal record. So I guess, you know, how often do you see this kind of thing play out, where a domestic abuser might turn themselves in if they're alleged of a crime?
Yeah, we've seen this happen in a case with Neves in the Bronx. Her husband, her boyfriend, stabbed her to death, and he turned himself in. You know, this is becoming something of a norm now, and that's what's frightening to us as a domestic violence organization that's trying to prevent domestic violence. It is because in our communities, it's something that is accepted. It's like, it's okay if you hit your girlfriend. It's okay if you beat your wife. It's okay if you disrespect your mother. It's okay if you're rude to your neighbors. It is becoming a norm, and it is very, very dangerous. And she was such a young, vibrant, amazing woman, 31 years old, had a 4-year-old son.
Now, you know, a lot of people, we always hear that it's people leaving relationships. And it's that time when it's the most dangerous time for those for them to leave, just because of instances like this. So do you think there's just anything that we can do to address that problem?
Yes, we can get the word out that silence hides violence, and this is something that you are never to be ashamed of. I created this organization 15 years ago because I almost was killed. And I was almost killed because I was trying to leave. I was ready to get out, but the mistake I made was I told him, I'm leaving. I can't do this anymore. I deserve better. But because there was no education about domestic violence, because the community that I grew up in, the Black and brown community, is like, it's what happens in a house, stay in a house. So we don't readily talk about this. So our job at WARM, We All Really Matter, is to educate women. The most dangerous time in an abusive relationship is when you're trying to get out, because it's all about power and control. Love has nothing to do with these kind of relationships. So our job and our community is to educate women how to move out safely.
Yeah. You know, Stephanie, I think what you're doing is real important. Thank you for being here this morning to talk about it. It is important to talk about it. And if you are in need or help or support, reach out. right? To the We
Yes.
All Really Matter crisis hotline, the number right there on your screen, 917-736-1046. Stephanie, thanks again.